We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball on a beautiful fall night here in the Gateway City. It's the final homestand of 2015. Big crowd expected. Game 1 of 3, and all 3 right here on Fox Sports Midwest. The Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals. How does it shake out here for the final homestand? 3 with Cincinnati and 4 with Milwaukee. 2 teams the Cardinals have played very well against. And with the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Final homestand, it is here. What can we anticipate now in the next 7 days?
Well, we're going to find out how good the Cardinals are. They have 2 opponents that are really battling for the last place in the Central Division. 2 of the Cardinals' favorite opponents they like to beat up on. And right now, the Cardinals must win these games on this homestand, and that'll dictate how far they go into the postseason.
It's a pair of left-handers here tonight for Cincinnati. John Lamb, he was picked up in the Johnny Cueto deal with Kansas City. He gets the call for Cincinnati. Meanwhile, on the other side, Jaime Garcia for St. Louis. Garcia, Lamb, Reds and Cardinals coming up. The season yesterday for the Cardinals, highlighted by this play from Gold Glover Jason Hayward to the Gold Glover Yadier Molina. It was a win, but it came at a price. Molina, a slight tear of a ligament in his thumb. He's going to miss time. They hope to get him back before the season is through. That means that Tony Cruz gets the start tonight. He'll be behind the plate. And when you face the Reds, you better watch out for the speedster, Billy Hamilton, and his 57 steals, which lead the National League. The Cards, the Reds, baseball, it's next. West is brought to you by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealers for great prices on our all-new 2015 vehicles today. Beautiful night here in St. Louis, Busch Stadium, the final homestand of the 2015 regular season. Jim Hayes is with us, along with Hungo Alraboski, and my name is Dan McLaughlin. 76 degrees here at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals' lead over the Pirates stands at 4. And with that dramatic win yesterday at Wrigley, it is over 6 against Chicago. A look at the lineup for the Cincinnati Reds. Bourgeois, Suarez, and Votto. Then Phillips, Frazier, Bruce, Duvall, Cabrera, and the pitcher, Lamb. Jaime Garcia gets the call tonight. It's his 18th start of the season. His 11th since returning from the disabled list.
And Dan, it's time for him to kind of turn things around. One, he usually pitches here very well, particularly against the Reds, but kind of stop the little spurt he's on. A bad spurt at that, but Jaime, the last couple times out, he's been roughed up a little bit. Particularly his worst start of the year was against Cincinnati, in Cincinnati, against John Lamb.
Here's an 0-1 pitch. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes on Bourgeois. On the bench for Brian Price, Billy Hamilton has been dealing with a shoulder issue, and that's why you have Bourgeois at the top of the lineup and playing center field. Skip Schumacher, their top pinch hitter, the former Cardinal. The 0-2. That's taken in the dirt. Bourgeois, good numbers against Garcia, 6 for 15.
And one of the things we've seen Jaime really kind of struggle with in the last couple starts is getting the ball down. When he gets it down, he has that great movement, hard to center, but it's been up in the zone.
Here's a 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and he's working with a battery mate that he's familiar with but hasn't pitched to all that often, and that's Tony Cruz. The Cardinals without the services of Yadier Molina. If you just tuned in, missed the pregame. He's out with a torn ligament in his thumb. John Mozeliak telling me that they expect Molina to be back at some point this season. Hopefully he would be back before the playoffs.
They're going to wait 5 to 7 days to reevaluate, do another scan, and looks like Jaimy's having trouble getting the ball down again.
From 0-2 to a leadoff walk. And there's a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Jaime Garcia.
60% of the time he's going to be throwing that fastball, but he's also got that slider that he really likes to use a lot. Changeup is an effective weapon for him.
Suarez is at short. Zach Cozart done for the year, and he's been a pleasant surprise for the Reds. He's a former switch hitter that's only batting right-handed now this season, and he's riding a 5-game hit streak coming into play tonight. Tony Cruz with one of the biggest plays of the game yesterday. What a dramatic win that was for St. Louis. Quentin Berry had not been caught at this level stealing bases. He represented the tying run for the Chicago Cubs after a leadoff base hit, and Cruz gunned him down, came in the game cold, and threw a strike to the bag at second. Bourgeois with 3 steals this year. He's been caught once. Outfield is straight away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And since 2011, Molina has missed 160 starts. The team is 80-80 during that time with a 4 ERA. When he is in the lineup or starts, they have a .593 winning percentage and a .334 ERA.
And a check on Bourgeois. Piscotty is your first baseman tonight.
Happy birthday to Martinez. 24 today. It's getting old.
When you think about this season, Cardinals are 38 over 500 when Molina starts, 8-9 when he doesn't. Caught the top of the zone, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's at the top of the zone, but that's not where you want to see Jaime Garcia throw the pitches.
Here's a 1-2. This is our general manager's night, if you will, here on Fox Sports Midwest. Jim will visit with John Mozeliak. A lot of news with Yadier Molina and Matt Holliday and Adam Wainwright. They'll visit in the 2nd inning. And for Blues fans, this is Blues night here at the ballpark. And we'll visit with Doug Armstrong, the general manager of the St. Louis Blues. There's Randy Flores on the left and John Mozeliak on the right. That swung on and missed, and a strikeout. The first out recorded by Jaime Garcia. The Cardinals defensively with Rando Grichuk, his first start in left field since all the way back on August 13th. Tommy Pham in center. Jason Hayward is in right. Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Piscotty on the infield. And Tony Cruz is behind the plate.
Dan, if I were making out the lineup right now until Holliday comes back, this is the way I would have it. I'd have Grichuk in left, Pham in center, Piscotty at first base.
1 out, and here's Joey Votto. I think the way that you have to look at it, if you're Mike Matheny, you ride the hot hand. It's very simple. If you hit, you produce, you're in the lineup. If not, you're not.
Well, and like we also said, too, that we feel that Holliday has a little more experience coming back from injury. Because it's been a leg injury, he's been able to keep his timing a little bit more than you might suspect with being out for such an extended period of time. He's getting closer. And
He's very close. We're going to see him start this homestand.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And then I take the hot hand between Grichuk and Pham. Piscotty stays in there because he can play first.
1 ball, 1 strike on Joey Votto. Reached base against the Cardinals in 21 straight. That's hit down the left field line and out of play. Leads us to Arcia in the driver's seat. He's frustrated that he didn't knock that ball out of the ballpark. Votto, most walks in a single season, 135. He's done it twice, and he will set a personal milestone before this season is through in terms of walks. Last time the Cardinals kept him off base, opening day of 2014.
Well, he knows how to get on base. Sometimes.
Ball in the dirt. Cruz to second and not in time. Bourgeois in scoring position.
Good secondary lead. Saw the separation of the ball from Tony Cruz and took off ahead of the throw. Probably scored a wild pitch.
You know, you look at this lineup of the Cincinnati Reds and you say they are dangerous. I mean, the middle of the lineup with Votto, Phillips has had a very good second half. Frazier, an outstanding year. Jay Bruce, 5 home runs in September. Do not overlook this lineup.
Yeah, and you could make a case that.
And there's a base hit into left field. Bourgeois had to wait. Will they run on Grichuk? They don't. Boy, that's advanced scouting. You have to run on Grichuk in that spot.
One, Bourgeois, the runner at second base, he couldn't tell if Peralta was going to be able to knock that down.
Doesn't matter.
But I still agree with you because Grichuk came up and his whole intention was to throw to second base. Never even thought about here, and they held up the runner way too soon. You know, you're a double play ball from getting out of the inning.
He's got to score on that play.
Grichuk is throwing much better. But still, it's going to be cautionary, and in most cases, when there's a ball hit to deep left, you're going to see Peralta go way out to be an extended cutoff man.
Essentially, the Cardinals had conceded that run. And a strike to Brandon Phillips.
And watch out, Grichuk. He doesn't even look to home, doesn't look anything, comes up and makes sure he doesn't, by orders, doesn't extend that throw. Just tries to get it back in. He's been throwing like 120 feet. It was on a throwing every other day program to strengthen the arm.
Here's the 0-1. Nearly a wild pitch. Well, now that it's in the memory banks for the Cincinnati Reds, you would know you could run on Randal Grichuk. However, coming into the game, you should know that anyway. It's Jim Riggleman down there at third, is the third base coach. Again, a pitch that's high, and it's 2-1. Brandon Phillips is hitting .314 since the All-Star break, 12th best in the National League. And coming into this series, he's hot, 8 for his last 22.
And that might have been part of the reason why Jim Riggleman didn't test and send Bourgeois, but we knew he would have been safe.
The 2-1. Fly ball into right. There is Hayward, and it drops in front of him. A run will score. Votto advances to second base, and it's 1-0 Cincinnati. RBI number 66 for Brandon Phillips.
Phillips has a chance to hit 300 for the first time in his career, and you know that's a goal. But once again, we'll see where these pitches are. Right in the middle of the plate. It's down a little bit, but it's not on the corners. And not hit particularly well, but good enough for the RBI base hit and gives them a lead. Yes, the Cardinals have beat up on Cincinnati, but Cincinnati's won 5 of the last 7 games between these two clubs. They won the series here last time in St. Louis, and they won the one last week.
That ball scoots away from Cruz, and runners advance to second and third. And 21 pitches already here in the first inning for Jaime Garcia. The Cardinals, in a way, are a predictable team in the fact that if their starter does not pitch well, it could be a long night, because they are a team that relies so heavily on their starting pitching, which they have for 5 months.
And they were rightfully so. They relied on that pitching, and that's why they had the best record. But of late, that starting pitching's, you know, has been 50-50, unraveling a little bit. And you and I both talked about it before the game that we are concerned about Garcia. that we hope that missing the first 40 and then going on the disabled list for another 20 would propel him for the rest of the season. Well, he looks like he's running out of gas.
He's had 9 career starts against Cincinnati in St. Louis at home. He's been dominant, 7-1, 2.44 ERA. However, his last start, as you mentioned, at the Great American Ballpark, 6 runs and a season low 4 1/3. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Todd Frazier. Swing and a miss and a strikeout of Frazier. That's a big out here in the first inning.
See the good change up there, and then the ball kind of got away from Cruz, but Tony Randazzo, the home plate umpire, kind of helped out there. Didn't let it get back to the screen.
You go by Fox Tracks, both called strikes were out of the zone against Frazier. You could see his frustration with the strike zone when he swung and missed. There's a ball to Jay Bruce. Since the break, 40 RBIs, puts him in the top 10 in that category since the All-Star game. Runners at second and third. And here's a 1-0 pitch to Jay Bruce.
Maybe have a big strike zone today, and hopefully that'll help out the Cardinals. We saw enough walks in Chicago, didn't we?
Yes, we did. 1-1. Check swing. Did not go. You think about it for Tony Cruz, and I get it. Major league catcher. He's got to be able to handle anybody, but Garcia, Cardinals staff will tell you he is the toughest guy to catch for Molina or Cruz or anybody else that gets behind home plate. All the late movement. Lifted in the air to right field. There's Hayward. Garcia gives up an early run. Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first. 1-0 Cincinnati. St. Louis native is a crew chief. Phil Cuzzi at second. Gabe Morales is down at third.
Talked about the big strike zone here. Look at this pitch here. Off the plate, not a strike, but it's called a strike. So does that force Jay Bruce to expand his zone? Now he goes after the pitch a little bit further away. Gets it right off the end of the bat. And sometime a big strike zone like that will force hitters to expand their zone. And usually they doing it at their peril.
Carpenter, Pham, and Hayward for the Cardinals. Then Peralta, Piscotty, Grichuk, Wong, Cruz, and Garcia. The Cardinals with 93 wins this year. Best record in baseball. A lot of thunder on that bench. You think about Moss and Adams and Holiday. Tartamella is a very good catch and throw type catcher, not known for his offense.
He was added today to the roster. Scruggs was designated for assignment to get Tartamella on the 40-man roster, and with Yachty unavailable for a while, Tartamella gets a Christmas bonus.
1 ball, 1 strike. Matt Carpenter against John Lamb. 7 starts. He's 1-3. That 1 win was against St. Louis, a game in which he walked 6.
Major league debut, and young man that's come over from Kansas City, one of 3 left-handers that came in the Johnny Cueto deal. Wasn't overly impressed with him, and walking 6 was the biggest reason why. And had a rough outing his last time out.
2-2.
This is 0-3 with a ERA over 6. So the only team he's really been able to pitch well against is the Cardinals.
Acquired with Brandon Finnegan and Cody Reed. Finnegan, you might recall, has pitched in the World Series and the College World Series in the same year, and Carpenter strikes out to start the game. What does Lamb feature? It's a look at our Hyundai pitch arsenal.
He throws the four-seamer and the changeup is big pitch for him. The cutter also, but you know it was interesting because Tommy Pham has faced him a lot since 2010. But he used to say he always pitched away, but he's noticed the big league level more inside.
Fastball, then a strike to Tommy Pham.
Tommy was not in the lineup last week in Cincinnati against Lamb. But I said, well, how did you do against him in minor leagues? He said, I hit him well.
0-2.
But he's the one that told me that he's pitching a little different up here in the big league level. And by throwing more pitches inside, you know, he's giving himself a better opportunity to get hitters out. When you pitch on just one side of the plate, they're going to get you.
Inside, 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Keep an eye on his fastball. He's been able to maintain his velocity, and that's a key. Around 91 to 93, and that's on the inside corner. That pitch at 92. He's even touched 96 this year. A look at the Reds defensively. Duvall is in left. Bourgeois in center. Jay Bruce in right. Frazier, Suarez, Phillips, Votto on the infield. Ramon Cabrera is behind the plate. So good start here for John Lamb. Back-to-back strikeouts.
And a nice applause for Jason Hayward. I think it had something to do with his throw to home plate.
Also made a sliding catch. Had the big home run on the road trip against Milwaukee in the 10th inning of a win. Hit .325 on the trip. 1 home run and 5 RBIs. Here's a 1-0. Ground ball that's hit to short. Suarez. And Hayward retired. Cardinals go in order. Back-to-back strikeouts. You got Carpenter swinging. Pham frozen on the fastball. Toyota keys to the game.
Well, you want to be focused. You don't want to put the main thought of Yadier Molina, and you got to be ready to play this ball game. You wish you could have jumped out on top. That's not going to happen, and you need a little payback. As I said, the Reds have won 5 of the last 7 games between these two clubs, and that's got to stop. The Cardinals really must take advantage of this homestand against Cincinnati and the Milwaukee Brewers. But obviously, the Reds are trying to stay out of the cellar. They have not finished last for 31 years, and they're trying to avoid that embarrassment.
And a fastball and a strike to Adam Duvall. 30 home runs combined in 2 different stops in the minor leagues this year. He gets called up, and in his first 4 hits in the big leagues, had 3 home runs and a double. Overall, he's hitting .179, and Duvall had a game-winning home run against the Cardinals. And a 2-run homer in the continuation game on Saturday morning against St. Louis. It was hit to right, just out of the reach of Jason Hayward off of Jonathan Broxton.
Big time power. Now, the home run that he hit there to right field was on a pitch down and in. And I had a San Francisco scout tell me that he's really, a big power 4A player. Meaning he's going to come up here, he's going to do some damage on mistake pitches, but probably shouldn't, couldn't make or shouldn't be on a major league roster. Now it's up to Duvall to change that because he's got a new chance with a new team.
3 balls and 1 strike. Garcia walked Bourgeois to start the game. He came around to score, and that's hit sharply to third. Nice pick by Carpenter.
Hit that ball right on the nose. Hard hit ball, and Carpenter just had time to kind of take a step back a little bit, reach out, snared the ball, and then throw across the diamond for the easy out. Made that play look a lot easier than it actually was.
Ramon Cabrera, switch hitting catcher. Hit .290 this year at Louisville, their AAA affiliate. Outfield is straight away. 1 out, nobody on, and the first pitch is strike from Jaime Garcia.
Got 1 home run. He hit that off of John Lackey for his first major league home run. Only hit 2 at AAA this year, and he was their MVP.
Little chopper that's hit back to Garcia, steps and throws. 2 away here in the top of the second.
A little better from Jaime this inning. Have an easy inning, but one thing we know that John Lamb is a good athlete, good hitting pitcher. So don't take him lightly.
Lamb was drafted out of Laguna High School in California by the Royals in the 5th round of the 2008 draft.
His grandfather is quite well known to Southern California sports.
Dodgers public address announcer John Ramsey. That's the grandfather of this young man, John Lamb.
But it was so much more. Since he did the Angels, he did UCLA, he did SC, he did just about every sports team in Southern California. He doesn't remember meeting his grandfather. If he did, he was quite young. He died the year he was born. But he's heard an awful lot about him, and he's got a couple of his grandfather's World Series rings from the Dodgers.
One ball and 2 strikes. 3rd strikeout tonight for Jaime Garcia. Coming up for St. Louis, Peralta, Piscotty, and Bridget. And with more on that, let's turn it over to Jim Hayes, who's with Cardinals GM John Mozeliak.
All right, Dan, thanks a lot. So the MRI on Yadi's left thumb, John, turned up slight ligament tear. What does that mean for Yadi's availability going forward?
Well, I think really we're going to just have to wait for the next 5 to 7 days and just see how he responds to therapy, and obviously letting some time help calm things down. And, hopefully early part of next week we can test it a little bit and see if he can get back out on that field.
Mike Matheny said there's room for optimism with what's going on with Yadi's thumb. Do you see it that way as well?
I do. I think that's well said. I think Yadi also feels that as well. And, first, we all know how tough he is, and we know he wants to get back out there and play. And hopefully having a week off will give it some time to heal.
Adam Wainwright has been throwing, has been doing some running. Today, saw doctors, they cleared him for baseball activities. Are we going to see Waino throw in a game soon?
I can't rule it out. I mean, obviously, you and I have talked about this a lot, and I know he's been working very diligently to get back to have this opportunity. And so what you'll see over the next 4 to 5 days is him doing a lot of things that are going to test him in terms of covering bases, being able to defend his position, and then ultimately he'll do a sim game hopefully by early part of the weekend, and see how he goes.
If you guys factor him into any postseason plans, does he have to pitch in the regular season to sort of cross that hurdle?
I do think in the postseason you can manage a shorter roster, if you will, but I also think it would be helpful to see him compete at the major league level before you would put someone on the roster.
How about Matt Holliday? What's his progress level? How close is he returning as a guy who can play in the outfield?
I think he's getting closer. I want to be hesitant in this because I know a week or two ago we had talked about him possibly playing as early as when we were in Milwaukee, and that didn't happen. And so he's also trying to do the very best he can to get back out there, but he does want to feel right before he does it. And so he continues to push himself in terms of running the bases, and hopefully one day he'll be ready to go. I know you guys have been keeping a real close eye on Grichuk and his elbow. How close is he to 100% tonight? Well, 100% may never be this season, but in terms of being able to take advantage of his bat and allow him to play is something hopefully we can do. And how much work have you guys put into trying to piece together a postseason roster at this point? Have you started work on that? Well, we certainly have been looking at it and factoring in what our options look like, but I would say that your postseason roster for a one-game playoff versus a 5-game looks completely different. Well, Mo, we appreciate the time as always. Thank you, Jim. All right, that's the general manager, Danny.
Good stuff, Jim. Here's Randal Grichuk, who's hitting .283. Very good play there by Jay Bruce in the right field corner. Grichuk with 16 home runs. He's driven in 46. And the outfield is deep for Randal. That floats in for a strike. You'll see this young man do this occasionally. He'll throw a curveball that hits 65, 66 miles an hour and mixes that up with a low 90s fastball.
The Cardinals as a team hit 30 points lower against left-handed pitching than they do righties.
We said from day one of spring training that could be an issue this year for the Cardinals.
Well, we thought that because we thought there'd be 5 regular left-handed batters in the lineup. He hit 231 against lefties, 261 against right-handed pitchers.
And the 1-2. Got him out in front. That pitch at 70 miles an hour. He has struck out 4 of the 6 he has faced so far. Lou Brock, the Hall of Famer, is here, and so are the Blues. GM Doug Armstrong will be our guest. So Blues fans, stay with us. You're home of the Cardinals and the Blues, Fox Sports Midwest. the home of the Blues, and it's Blues night here at the ballpark. A lot of Blues jerseys, those sweaters mixed in with the Cardinals jerseys here this evening at Busch Stadium. GM Doug Armstrong is our guest, and always good to see you as you fire up another season of hockey.
Yeah, we're really excited about this year. We like the prospects of having a good season and time for a deep playoff run.
I like what you said, though, when you came in the booth. You mind repeating that?
Yeah, I said the summers are a little too long around here. We got to shorten them up.
I agree. Here is Jason Bourgeois to lead off the third inning, and that is a liner and caught by Peralta. Where are you from, Doug?
Originally from Sarnia, Ontario.
They play baseball much up there?
Well, when I was younger, the Blue Jays were just coming in, and it's been a long drought for the boys from Ontario. So it's good to see that. I'd love to see a Cardinals Jays finals.
Are you a baseball fan?
Yeah, I enjoy the game. I'm not. Being in St. Louis, I know what a St. Louis Cardinals fan is. I'm learning the game as to the level that these people are, but I love watching the Cardinals play.
You come to the ballpark much?
Yeah, I get down here a few times a year. I really enjoy it. My wife and I and the kids will come down, and just a great way to spend it. Though, as a Canadian, I get a little leaky here in July and August. It's a little warm, so.
It is a little hot here for you guys. Here is Suarez, who struck out back in the first inning. One out, nobody on, 0-1 the count, and a 1-0 Cincinnati lead. You have fired up training camp. How are things going?
Things have gone really well. We get our first look at the players on the ice tomorrow against the opposition of Columbus, and we're really excited. I think that we've had some of our younger defensemen have really come in and opened our eyes. Joel Edmondson, Colton Parenko, and Lindbaum are really pushing. So I think it's got some of the veterans' attention, and a player like Robbie Fabry's come in and played with David Backus and Schwartz on the line have looked good. So there's some really good things here, but I think it's easy. You have to be careful to see how you play in a scrimmage versus a game. We're going to see him in a game soon.
Here's an 0-2 pitch, and that's hit to short. 2 down. A lot of fans curious about Fabry. Am I saying that properly?
Yes. Yeah.
I watched him, and I've seen him on tape. That young man can flat out play. Does he make the team? Come on, Doug. I'm going to put you on the spot.
You know what? He's got a real opportunity to make the team, and I'm not a big proponent of having underage players, 20 or under, on the team. But he looked really good last year in training camp, and he put in a hard summer here in St. Louis training. He's playing with Schwartz right now, and there's a lot of similarities, and we saw how quickly Jaden adapted.
Sure.
So there's a good opportunity for him.
So 2 outs, nobody on, and it brings in Joey Votto, who, by the way, is also Canadian. He is from the Toronto area, one of the best Canadian-born players that baseball literally has ever seen. This guy can flat out play. First time up, he singled to left. Yeah, I was watching your team at the end of last year, and how can you not get excited about Tarasenko? You've signed a long-term deal with him, and you put that to bed, so you've got to be excited about that.
Yeah, Vladdy looks like he's potentially a generational player. The way he can score goals, he scores from distance. He can score in tight. The goal he scored last year against the Rangers, breaking defense, and then he had one of those similar against Minnesota in the playoffs. So we're really excited to have him through the meat of his whole career. You know, it's a long-term commitment, but we think he's worth it, and we think he's going to be I don't want to say a Brett Hull type player, but I'll say it, a Brett Hull type player.
You can say that. Brett has said that. Brett knows a thing or two about scoring goals here in town. Here's the 0-2 inside to Votto. So with the Cardinals and the Blues, this has turned into a fun situation where you guys really support the Cardinals, and tonight it's vice versa.
Yeah, well, obviously when the Cardinals come to our games, it's great. Our players love seeing them in the locker room and in the training room after the game, and the opportunity for people in our organization to be around the Cardinals, they're so highly thought of, not only in baseball but all of sports, and anytime we can spend time around them, it rubs off. It's great for our franchise.
Doug Armstrong is with us. He'll stick with us for another half inning. Pre-game, the Blues had their, let's call them the sweaters and the jersey. It was a short-sleeved version of a blue sweater, but that classic blue note on the front. Having some fun during BP. Doug Armstrong, our guest, back with more in a moment. Long, Tony Cruz, and Jaime Garcia for St. Louis. Doug Armstrong, the Blues general manager, is with us. Are you finding that you're enjoying town? You know, here in St. Louis, your family, you mentioned that, and I know you've got a young girl that's a very athletic girl. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I right with this?
Yes. She's actually at Indiana now playing a little bit of lacrosse, and she went to Westminster and really had a good academic and athletic career there too. So she was a basketball player and a lacrosse player and really enjoyed her time here.
You know, we talked about it earlier. You are from Canada, and that's chop to lamb, where hockey is a religion up there. But I think what makes St. Louis great is the fact that the alumni base stays here in town. The passion for hockey in this town is great.
Well, when I was looking for employment, one of the reasons I had a couple of opportunities, but when I talked to the alumni that played in St. Louis and came back here, they said it's a great place to raise a family. They have a rabid fan base that is dying to win, and I'm entering my 8th year here, and I've loved every minute of it. My wife loves it here, and obviously we see ourselves staying here hopefully for a long time. It's a great city. It's a great sports town.
Yeah. How do you get over the hump? That's the big question that you're asked time and again. What do you need to do?
We got to get through that first round. I think, once we can exercise that demon.
There's a fly ball that's caught by Bruce.
I think we'll be off and running. And right now, it's probably in our heads now a little bit, and we have to just get past that. But what we've talked to our players about, you don't have to worry about the playoffs if you're not ready to play in the regular season.
Yeah.
You saw the defending Stanley Cup champions miss the playoffs last year in LA. The previous President's Trophy winning team, the Boston Bruins, miss it. So we have to be prepared against the Edmonton Oilers here in a couple of weeks and take care of business in the regular season, and then the playoffs will be there. But I really like the hunger and the determination in this group. They know that the window is closing for a certain group of these players,
sure,
as far as being in their early 30s, and now's the time to win.
It's hard, I know Cub fans, to relate it to baseball. They think, my gosh, if we could just win that one World Series. I know Blues fans feel the same way.
Well, and I think if you look at what the Red Sox did, they won one, and then all of a sudden they were able to throw a couple more after it. And I think that's what's going to, that's what we're hoping to happen here. We want to be part of that first group to take the Stanley Cup around the town, and then I think once you get that moving, you saw the Blackhawks went through and now all of a sudden they ripped off a couple. So,
sure.
I really think that you just got to get your foot through the door the first time.
The first hit in this game is the pitcher, Jaime Garcia, with a base hit into center field. You brought back Ken Hitchcock. What was the thought process there in bringing back Hitch?
Well, we wanted to take some time after the season ended, and partly it was I wanted to make sure Ken had the desire to come back.
Sure.
He's coached a long time, and it's a rigorous job, and I just wanted to we had time when I wanted to use it. And when I started to look around, Ken's a top 5 coach in the game. He's probably going to go in the Hall of Fame. And, the easier thing is to let a coach go. It's much harder to replace him with a better one. And when I looked at all the options and I talked to Ken and he still had that drive, it just seemed natural to bring him back. And as much as the players want to see this through, Ken wants to see it through too. So he's a motivated coach right now.
A strike to Carpenter. What would you tell the fans about coming out and supporting this team?
Well, I think you're going to be entertained on a nightly basis. We have, I think, one of the best pure goal scorers in Tarasenko. I really like the way Schwartz has come along. We have a very active defense, so we're going to be entertaining to play against. We brought in, we got Ryan Reeves coming back, and Brodziak and Brouwer, and our new young defensemen are a little tougher, so you might, if you like the fisticuffs, you might get a few of those this year. So we'll be an entertaining team, and we'll certainly, you won't be cheated from a work ethic.
How about the ticket sales? I know you're concentrating on the on-ice product, but you're in tune with a lot of what goes on the business side. How are ticket sales?
They've been really strong. I think as much as we want to get back paying, so do our fans want to get back on the ice, and they've done a great job of supporting us. And, the hard part is when you have 6 months of really good work, it gets washed away in 2 weeks. And I think that's what makes St. Louis a great sports town. I think they're frustrated for when we lose, but they understand the work that's going in the regular season, and they want to be part of it when we go all the way. And it's great to have them there. We had open training camp, and there was a lot of fans there, and I know there'll be a lot here when we start up against the Oilers.
Doug Armstrong, our guest, the Blues general manager. 2 outs and 2 on. That pitch taken inside by Tommy Pham, who struck out back in the first inning. So it all starts tomorrow, and that's when you really start taking the notes, right? I mean, you start saying, okay, this guy can be paired up with this guy. This line looks good, and you're seeing live action, so to speak.
Well, that's what Ken's going to do. He's going to have some different pairs going off in the first few games, and then we'll get to the full lines probably in games 4, 5, and 6. And I really want to see how some of these younger guys look against other competition. And really, we brought in a couple of really good players. Excuse me, and Upshaw and Gomez. I want to see how Ratty and Fabry look against NHL players in training camp. And so those guys are here to earn a job, and they've been really competitive in training camp. This has probably been our most competitive camp from top to bottom skill-wise.
On the inside corner, 2-2. Cardinals trailing 1-0 on an RBI from Brandon Phillips back in the first to score Jason Bourgeois. Every game, by the way, is on television this year. 70 games regular season on Fox Sports Midwest. The remaining 12 are on national TV. And it'll start, as Doug mentioned, October 8th. That's the opener at Scottrade Center against Edmonton. And coverage that night starts at 6 as Pham shoots it foul.
Yeah, that should be a really great night. Connor McDavid is supposed to be a phenom coming into town. And it's interesting. We have they open up our season, and the following week we go up and open up their home season. So we get a double dose of Connor McDavid right out of the gate.
Open up in that Western Canadian swing, huh?
Yes, yeah.
2-2 is bounced to Phillips. Doug, I know you put a ton of time into this, work, energy. It's your life's work. Bring home the cup, will you please?
That's the plan. That's the plan. Thank you very much.
Great to see you.
Thanks a lot for having me on. I appreciate it.
Have fun tonight. GM Doug Armstrong of the St. Louis Blues. 1-0 Cincinnati after 3. On MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. And college students enjoy a back-to-school offer, 35% off discount. Authentication required. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV today. Last season, the viewership for the Blues broadcast hit an all-time high. It's grown each of the last 5 seasons. And once again, it'll be John Kelly, Darren Pang, Bernie Federko, Pat Paris, Jim Hayes, Scott Mormon. They'll bring it all to you. And again, it starts Thursday, October 8th. The opener at Scottrade Center against Edmonton. Coverage that night will start at 6. And an hour pregame show and the game at 7. Good luck to the Blues in 2015.
Had a young man that was showing us his swing. I was about ready to sign him up.
Pretty fluid.
Oh yeah, he looked like he was ready to
power.
Ready to, like he already knew how to do a home run trot and everything. We could use a little offense, could we?
Yes, we could. Cardinals best opportunity coming moments ago with Tommy Pham in first and second, 2 outs, and he grounded out. The Cardinals have 1 hit, and that's Jaime Garcia. Garcia, rough first inning, nearly 30 pitches. And part of that first inning was a walk, 2 hits, one of them from Brandon Phillips. He's 2 for 2. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag MWStrongFan. And you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Frazier didn't like his first time up. He struck out. A couple pitches that were inside called strikes.
And here's Todd Frazier. Yeah, strike zone very questionable in that at bat with Frazier. The 2 called strikes on the inside corner and eventually chased a pitch out of the zone and struck out swinging. What a year it's been for Frazier. 35 home runs. He was driven in 88. 0 for 1 tonight. Double play ball hit to Carpenter, avoids the bat, the turn by Wong, double play. Great concentration by Matt Carpenter down at third.
That's what Jaime needed right there. Need to get his own team back on offense to see if they can't imitate Garcia. Got the only hit today. You see the bat flying, but the concentration to where they turn the double play. It's the 18th double play that Frazier's hit into.
Brings in Jay Bruce. In his career with the Reds, all those years spent with Cincinnati, 206 career home runs. And he lifts a fly ball out to shallow left. Randall Grichuk is there. 5-pitch, top of the 4th. Hayward, Peralta, Piscotty coming up. 1-0 Cincinnati. And fans purchasing the special Billikens Night theme ticket receive an exclusive St. Louis U themed blue and white Cardinals cap. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/theme. It's a young outfield for the Cardinals tonight. When you think about Randall Grichuk, Tommy Pham, and Jason Hayward. The youngest of that trio, I believe, is Jason Hayward. Would that be right?
No.
How old is Grichuk?
24.
He's 24. Hayward is 26. Pham is 27, maybe 28.
I think that's correct.
There's the 0-2.
Grichuk may have turned 25 this year, but he's under Jason's 26.
Think about Hayward. He hits the open market as a 26-year-old.
You don't often have that come to the big leagues and have that service time as early as he's going to have it. Seen some publications where say David Price is the #1 potential free agent and Hayward is #2, followed by Justin Upton.
Here's a 1-2. It'd be very interesting to see how teams value Jason Hayward. 12 home runs, 56 RBIs. On the surface, you say, well, that's not a $20 million a year player. However, you mix in the speed, the defense, his age, potential. You never know.
Grichuk turned 24 on August 13th.
3-2 the count on Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward thought he was struck out. He was ready to walk back towards the dugout. And now he gets a 3-2 and hits it out of play. Major League Baseball has a way of looking at velocity and how balls are thrown. And that throw that he had yesterday was around 100 miles an hour. That pitch taken inside. So leadoff walk for Hayward. Let's see if the Cardinals want to try to start running and get something going.
You see right there, that's the one thing. Remember in the first start that Lamb had against the Cardinals, he walked 6 in that game. So he can lose the strike zone. And he throws a lot of pitches where he'll get his pitch count up around 100 right at about 5 innings.
Johnny Peralta, strike one. Peralta struck out back in the second. No home runs in his last 42 games. He's been stuck on 16 for quite some time. Love to change that tonight.
Had 3 RBIs on the road trip.
In the air, off the end of the bat, hit to left. Duvall makes the catch. Hayward retreats back to the bag at first.
I was going to say even the RBIs were slow coming for Peralta. And it's just a lot of it's just he's been worn right into the ground playing so much.
1 out and a runner at first. Here's Stephen Piscotty. Took a very good play by Jay Bruce in the right field corner on the track to take a hit away from Stephen. Came in hitting .367 against left-handed pitching this year. First pitch by Lamb instead of check on Hayward. This season, Lamb was 9-1 at Omaha, which is the AAA affiliate of the Royals, with a 2.67 ERA. Then dealt to Cincinnati as part of the Johnny Cueto deal. A pick off, and Hayward is back in safely. This was a highly thought of pitcher at one point in his career. Once listed as the 18th overall best prospect by Baseball America. Then he had Tommy John surgery in 2011. Recovered in 12. And 13 and 14 combined to go 13 and 24. And this year he's turned it back around. And I mentioned earlier, something to keep an eye on is his velocity. If he can keep it around 91, 93 and locate that, they say he's got a good chance to win.
Well, that's what he was. He was a much harder thrower prior to the Tommy John, and slowly starting to get that velocity back or being able to maintain it.
Here's an 0-2 pitch.
He's always been a big strikeout guy in the minor leagues.
Mentioned earlier, he has hit 96 on the gun, so that velocity is starting to come back. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Stephen Piscotty. That's 5 strikeouts for this left-hander. On-base percentage plus slugging, OPS, and the leaders this season: Harper, Votto, Goldschmidt, Cabrera. Bryce Harper, by the way, youngest ever in the history of baseball, with 40 home runs and 115 walks. He is 22 years old.
There's an outstanding crop of young players in the game today.
Long look by Lamb. Grichuk lines it out to right, but there's Jay Bruce. Cardinals strand a runner. They have left 3 on today. We enter the 5th. Reds on top. Cincinnati on top. AT&T U-verse rewind. We look back to yesterday where the offense came alive early off of John Lester. The home runs, big part of that game. Fan of Biscotti.
That's what we were hoping for today. Both Pirates and Cubs are leading their games today.
And a high fly ball off the bat of Adam Duvall. There's Randall Grichuk for the first out. How about John Lamb? Against St. Louis now, 9 innings pitched, no runs. The rest of Major League Baseball, 32 innings, 22 earned.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody else's ERA's in the 6th. The Cardinals 0. But how about Jaime? He's really settled down. He threw 28 pitches in the first inning. Then it was 11, 9, and 5. Matter of fact, in innings 2, 3, and 4, he threw less pitches in those 3 innings than he did in the first, with just 14 pitches in his last 2 frames.
Here's Ramon Cabrera. And a 1-0 pitch upcoming. He tapped back to Garcia. First time up. Jaime Garcia outside of Cincinnati, his ERA is 1.98. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's allowed 3 hits tonight. The backup catcher for about a decade in St. Louis has been a tough spot to fill. You know John Mozeliak looks for talent. However, it's a tough spot to fill because you don't play. Well, Cruz will get his shot here in the last couple of weeks. Cardinal fans, did you know the StubHub app is personalized just for you? Now, with the StubHub app, you can select your favorite teams and artists and discover new ones too. Start at StubHub. Let the fun find you. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals.
You know, I'm a Tony Cruz fan, but it is very tough. And say if the Cardinals were going to try and go out and upgrade that position, you'd probably have to give a backup multi-years and probably overpay him to come here with the understanding that he's not going to play.
John Mozeliak has tried that. He's tried to throw millions of dollars at various catchers out there to be a backup, and they say, thanks, but no thanks. You're exactly right.
And the one thing as Yadi gets a little older, you know, you might be an easier sale because you could say that, you know, we'll, you know, almost say, okay, we're going to give you X amount of starts. But it is one tough player to replace. And whenever Mike Matheny hears what you're talking about replacing one of the players, he doesn't want to hear it because he thinks you're downgrading the rest of players or the backup players that he has for that position. But it is reality. It's very tough to replace Yadier Molina.
Not necessarily saying replace Tony Cruz. I'm just saying it's
right.
A tough position to fill.
Yeah, to have, you know, a backup for a guy that plays as often as Yadi does, and a guy that is so valuable to the pitching staff.
The best prospect for the Cardinals at that catcher's position is Carson Kelly. He was at high A this year. His defense is well ahead of the offense. Lamb grounds out to second. Garcia has settled in. It's 1-0. Barbecue pulled pork sandwich. It's here for a limited time. There's Colton Wong, followed by Tony Cruz and Jaime Garcia. One thing you think about when you face the Reds is coming back. They have 39 blown leads. That's most in the National League. And second to Oakland in Major League Baseball. We had a 2-0 lead yesterday, could not hold on. Lost to Milwaukee.
And it's like the seventh inning has just done in the Reds all season long. Yes, they have one of the best closers all time, but can they get to him? And Hoover pretty good in the 8th, but the 7th's been a killer.
Playing in was Frazier to his left. Colton Wong is 0 for 2. The Cardinals have just 1 hit tonight. As we take a look at the BJC Healthcare difference maker. And since 2011 and the numbers that you spoke of earlier.
But aren't you a little surprised that the 4 ERA with him out of the lineup isn't that drastic from the 3.34 with him in it?
Combination of calling a game, comfort with him behind the plate, stopping a running game.
His offense hasn't been a typical offensive year for Yachty this year. His numbers kind of down, especially in the home runs, but mentally he means so much to the pitching staff.
The Reds rookies came to St. Louis after their game yesterday wearing bridesmaids dresses. It's the rookie initiation.
You notice the Cardinals are they've done away with that. As Mike Matheny tries to.
Cruz, a base hit into right. Well, we still have 1 road trip to go.
Well, but I mean, I think Mike always, has the feeling that everybody is equal on this ball club, and you treat the clubhouse guys, front office personnel, as well as you treat your teammates. When I was with St. Louis, the only thing that we would do as part of the initiation was the rookies would wear, platform shoes. Some of the stuff we had like in the 70s. But we didn't do the extravagant things. We didn't do that,
Bunted in the air. Frazier makes the catch, and back to the bag at first goes Tony Cruz.
I think it's just my personal belief, but when you make people wear the wedding gowns and the different things like that, and you're a last place club, it doesn't look very good.
Here is Matt Carpenter, who's hit by a pitch and also struck out. I don't know, long season, having a little fun, breaking it up a little bit. Have a little fun, Al.
Nope.
You'd look beautiful in a bridesmaid's dress.
Well, I think I got a little more time than you do. So how would you like to be wearing the bridesmaid outfit?
I'm a broadcaster. I don't have to worry about it.
Why'd you throw me in there?
Well, you're a player. You'd look great in one. Carpenter, a base hit into right. Cruz to second. The stop there. The very good arm of Jay Bruce.
One of the things you can see this uppercut, it's a hanging breaking ball, but that's why he's hit all the more home runs now. He's got a lot more strikeouts, but he's kind of put that power swing in there, and when you don't connect on it, you'll swing and miss.
So 2 outs and 2 on, and it brings in Tommy Pham. He was up with this spot back in the 3rd and grounded out to Brandon Phillips.
He told me he's faced him since 2010. Lamb. He's had success against him. Said he has pitched a different pattern here at the big league level.
On that pitch and fouled it back.
Felt like in the minor leagues he pitched everything away. And here he's noticed, watching video, that he's throwing a lot more inside pitches. Trying to lock you up, using that cutter as well as the fastball.
And a chopper towards 3rd, taken there by Frazier to 2nd, and they just get Matt Carpenter. Cardinals strand 2. They have left 5 on through 5. 1-0 Cincinnati. 6:30. Budweiser, what's on tap? Bourgeois, Suarez, and Votto. Outfield is shallow. Bourgeois tonight has walked and scored and also lined out to short.
I mean, settle down now. He's retired the last 5 and 13 of the last 14 batters.
So how's he doing it?
Getting the ball down a little bit better now. And I think he's found a little bit of a rhythm. Remember, he walked Bourgeois back in the first inning to lead off the game, and then gave up a couple base hits. You kind of worry a little bit with his innings total, you know, adding up.
That pitch right there. Look at the great late movement on that pitch.
Well, it's usually all of his movement, but you see he's set up away, and look at that running. But you can see why he missed that one. Late movement and missing location.
And a strikeout. Number 5 for Jaime Garcia tonight.
One of the things we've noticed this year since he's come back from 3 very serious arm operations, Jaime is going deeper into ball games, and part of that is because he's much more efficient.
He's had 17 starts coming into this one. 16 he's gone at least 6 or more. 13 have been quality starts for Garcia. And with 1 out, a fastball and a strike to Suarez, who was struck out swinging and also grounded out to short. Cardinals have just dominated this series against the Reds. You see Carpenter there on the line. Off that line, maybe 2-3 steps. The last 19 series between the two clubs here at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals have won 15 of the 19.
But the most recent one, Cardinals lost to Cincinnati. Then they lost the series in Cincinnati. And the Cardinals don't usually do that. They're 9-7 this year against Cincinnati. 12-7 a year ago.
There's Walt Jocketty there on the left, the former Cardinals general manager. Jerry Walker on the right. 2-2.
Marty Meyer looks like up above Jerry Walker. Glasses there.
Cam Bonifay, the former Pittsburgh GM, the top left of that picture you saw. Reaching for it. Grichuk over. Won't get there. Drops in for a base hit. Thinking 2 out of the box, and why not? Test Grichuk. Came off the bag, and he's out. Wong held on. Applied the tag. And Suarez is out at second base.
Well, Dan, there they found, they learned the lesson from the first inning. You can run on Grichuk. By Grichuk, we said he could throw it, but you get the ball back in the infield. And Peralta threw it over to Wong, and Colton just keeps that tag on him. You got to stay on the tag right now, and you'll get a lot of those plays where, with reviewing possible, those umpires stay right on that. And if that misses or comes off the base, you can get him out.
Here's Joey Votto with 2 outs and nobody on. Votto is singled to left and also struck out. The rare 7-6-4 on the putout. Cubs lead their game in the fourth. That's against Milwaukee 4-2. Pittsburgh a 3-0 lead at Colorado. Marte his 18th home run. Aramis Ramirez number 17. AJ Burnett has gone 3 innings this far.
Half game separates Milwaukee and Cincinnati. Milwaukee has one more loss than the Reds.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Well, Mike Matheny will have to get creative late in innings. Very well could see Piscotty move to left. Grichuk come out. Mark Reynolds or Brandon Moss would go to first base. Improve your club defensively. 3-1 and a walk.
New career high in walks.
Well, we have a night for everything here at the ballpark. That includes our halfway to St. Paddy's Day, September 23rd against the Reds. That'll be Wednesday night, halfway to St. Patrick's Day right here at Busch Stadium. You purchase this special theme ticket, receive a limited edition St. Patrick's Day themed Paddy cap. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/theme. So a 2-out walk, and it brings in Phillips, who is 2 for 2 with an RBI. Strike one. Reds have a lot of decisions with their veteran players. Brandon Phillips will be 10-5, so he can veto any trade. 10 years of Major League service, 5 with one team. Do you think about Votto? Would they even try to move him or build around him? Sign long term? Roldis Chapman would get an awful lot on the open market. Ground ball back to Garcia. Spins and throws. A strike to Piscotty. Reds have stranded 3. It's a 1-0 lead for Cincinnati. Barnett takes on Roy Nelson. That is a long-awaited matchup, believe me. Plus, it's the biggest challenge yet for Uriah Hall as he takes on Gegard Mousasi. UFC Fight Night Saturday at 9 only on FS1. There's Jason Hayward, and the first pitch taken for a ball. Johnny Cueto, as the Reds traded him away and picked up this starter and picked up 2 other pitchers. Asked Salvador Perez to change his positioning behind the plate. A lot of questions as to whether or not Cueto was hurt. He had a string of 5 starts with an ERA of 10. Johnny Cueto. It went so far that Ned Yost called Brian Price, who is the pitching coach, remember, from 2009 to 13 for the Reds, now their manager. And he said that Perez has got to set the glove up lower in the zone. And his last time out, he was much better, but Kansas City, normally not a player that would give up a lot of young talent to go get somebody like Cueto. They're counting on him to be potentially their number 1 going into postseason play as Hayward strikes out. The Royals, 2-game lead over Toronto for home field advantage. Their magic number stands at 3 to clinch the American League Central Division. Strikeout number 6.
Now, when you think about established pitchers being traded for a prospect, I was thinking of Doyle Alexander being traded for John Smoltz. Now, Detroit did win, and Doyle pitched very well for them, but long term, Detroit knew that they were in trouble. And John Smoltz went on to have the Hall of Fame career.
1 ball, 1 strike. I find it interesting that Ned Yost picks up the phone and calls a manager in the game and says, basically, help me. What are we doing wrong here?
I don't think that's uncommon. I really don't.
2-1 pitch. Hit out of play.
I'm sure if it was a manager in the same division, it wouldn't probably happen.
No. But he basically said, I'm at a loss. What are we doing wrong with this guy? Help us out. The 2-2. Peralta, base hit into center field. 4th hit tonight for the Cardinals.
Johnny Peralta looked like he had a nice controlled swing right there. Take a ball up the middle. Not a lot of waste. There you see the balance. Pulls the hands in. Hits it up the middle and finishes.
Here's Piscotty in a swing and a miss. Steven in the 5th position in the lineup. Hit one to the track in right field in the corner and was tracked down by Jay Bruce first time up and struck out swinging in the 4th. Here's the 0-1 pitch.
I mentioned at the time that ball he hit into the corner was a nice play by Jay Bruce. Slicing away from him into the corner. Nice run, but very much under control. And Jay Bruce is a good outfielder. Noted for the arm most of all.
1-1 the count. Had him out in front, and it's popped up. Votto is there. And with 2 outs, brings in Randall Grichuk. Cardinals have not had a runner past second base in this game tonight. Get late into a game, you're starting to get there. You think about this potentially being the final at bat of the night for Randall Grichuk. 1-run lead for Cincinnati. We shall see. He is lined out to right, also struck out.
Until you take a lead, I got to leave a guy that can hit it out of the ballpark in there. And hopefully you get the lead right now, a 2-run home run, and then you can see that more defensive move you're talking about.
A short lead at first by Peralta and a 1-0 pitch.
Good cut by Randall.
Randall Grichuk is 24 years old. Pham 27. Hayward 26. They're starting outfield tonight.
2 plate appearances here, and he only had 2 on the whole road trip.
First game back, he was in center field, hit a high towering home run into Big Mac land against Chicago, and since that time the at-bats have been sparse. And the 2-1 pitch to Grichuk.
I remember after he hit that home run as a pinch hitter, then he was inserted in center field, and he took advantage of that on the first play or 2. But since that, they've been on a throwing program. The arm is much improved. Still not 100% though.
The 2-2. Breaks his bat, hit into shallow center field. Brandon Phillips makes the catch. Cardinals have stranded 6. We're through 6. 1-0 Reds. On Friday, September 25th, the Cardinals take on the Brewers. Stay in your seats after the game to watch a dazzling fireworks display with the Gateway Arch as the backdrop. And you can get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Here's a look at the Mazda game summary. 1 run has been scored in this game off the bat of Brandon Phillips, who is 2 for 3. Lamb, the starter of the Reds, 6 innings. Garcia, 6. Matt Carpenter is 1 for 2 and has been hit by a pitch. That's a look at your Mazda game summary. Todd Frazier, Jay Bruce, Adam Duvall. 7th inning rolls in. Frazier struck out back in the first and grounded into a 5-4-3 double play in the 4th. Mentioned the year that Todd has had. Frank Robinson, only other player to produce a 40 double 35 home run season. And Mark Reynolds is at first base and Stephen Piscotty is in left. So that was indeed the final plate appearance for Randall Grichuk. In steps Frazier.
Yeah, a little surprised there, you know, because I guess like he's doing with some of the guys coming back, like Adams, thinking it's a spring training game, so really 4 or 5 innings, but Grichuk wasn't out that long.
I think they've been watching him throw. I'm not sure you can take that chance. I could see both ways of why he would do it. Here's a 2-0 pitch. Frazier, base hit into left. I mean, even there is an example. If Grichuk is in left, Frazier was hustling right out of the box. Not to say that he would do it, but you could tell he was hustling and ready to go just in case, and then realized Grichuk wasn't in left.
And what Johnny Peralta, the shortstop, as he's instructed to do, is go out much further than he normally would. Be a cutoff man, but then you're talking about another throw. I can see both ways, but I just kind of think in the offense, because we need help.
Here's Jay Bruce, and he pulls it foul for strike one.
But Dan, that concerns me with, Holiday, Adams, Grichuk, these guys, John Jay coming back from injury. Are they going to have their timing? They're going to be, playoff ready when that time comes, and it's not that far away.
Had him out in front, and it's popped up a mile high. Colton Wong, the Cardinals' second baseman, makes the catch for out number one. Saturday, the postseason races are coming down to the wires, starting on Fox with a battle for control of the National League wild card between the Pirates and the Cubs. Then the Brewers take on the NL Central leading Cardinals in a game you can only see on FS1. Coverage starts Saturday at 11:30 on Fox, continues 5:30 on FS1. One out, and here's Duvall. .85 pitches for Garcia. And I've mentioned this before in watching Jaime in spring training. 85 pitches, usually a point at times in his games where you see a little crack in the start. We'll see if that holds true tonight. That's whacked down the left field line, hooking foul. Home run distance, but pulled foul by Duvall.
This kid has some serious pop. He also has some holes in his swing. But until you see him play enough, you may not figure those holes out just real quick.
Badenhop and Parham getting loose in the pen. Changeup from Garcia, and it's 1-2.
Changeup should be a real effective pitch against Duvall. And Duvall is from the Louisville area. He was traded for Mike Leake, and Duvall, as you see, Seth Maness warming up. But Duvall hit his first major league home run against Mike Leake and was traded for him. Went to AAA Louisville, hit a home run his first at bat, and then when he got to the big leagues, his first plate appearance this year with the Reds, he hit a home run. Almost threw it away.
Nice play by Reynolds. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out and a runner at first base. Duvall hit one sharply to third. That was in the second inning and has also flied out to left. Gets underneath it. Left field. You can see that Garcia is starting to miss the zone a little bit, and that's a double play. They run themselves right out of the inning. Frazier trying to catch the Cardinals sleeping. No sir. And an easy double play turned by St. Louis. Time to stretch in game 1. It's 1-0. Bottom of the 7th, it's the Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I just wonder if Todd Frazier didn't realize that Grichuk was out of the game and that Piscotty had shifted from first base to left field. That would explain maybe why he thought he could tag up on that play, a routine fly ball to left.
Well, he should have known at first base, but Scotty wasn't there. But like you said, he didn't see that he was switched to left field. But he could have made the argument that maybe you challenge on the base hit, not on the fly ball out to left.
Cardinals have 9 outs to go, but when you face the Reds and they have a lead, at this point, you're starting to think about 6 because of what that 9th inning represents.
Well, and I think you really got to look at it that the Reds acknowledge that the 7th inning has been the killer inning for them. Ryan Price got his bullpen up at the start of this inning when they were on offense.
And Wong drives one out to deep right. Bruce is back, leaps, and it's off the wall. Wong on his way to second base. Couple of feet away from tying this game up.
26 double for Colton Wong. He has a career high in doubles, but also in extra base hits. And Dave Bruce, a good outfielder. Purposely, the Cardinal ownership had these walls about 8 foot so they could have some dramatic catches and guys reach over the wall and bring it back. That one just fell over his glove but stays inside the park. If he would have got back another half step, he probably could have caught that ball easily. So it's not a home run, it's a double, and it's a key. And you can see immediately they went to the bullpen. Now keep the onslaught going.
Tony Cruz will be the hitter. Then we'll see a pinch hitter. He's had a tough road trip. 3 games, 2 1/3, 3 hits, couple of runs. Mentioned this earlier, the Reds 39 blown leads. Second in Major League Baseball to the A's, most in the National League.
Knopp was really on quite a roll, but on September 1st at Chicago, he allowed a 2-run home run to Schwarzenberger, and that snapped a 49 2/3 inning scoreless streak.
The Cardinals with 41 comeback wins, tied with Pittsburgh for most in the National League. Here's Tony Cruz. The corners are in. Matt Adams is on deck. And the first pitch is taken for a ball.
I'd rather have Adams facing Parra or Holiday facing Badenhop. But Mike Finney's gambling that he'll get Parra against Holiday.
1 ball and 1 strike. Cruz has singled to right, also flied out to right.
Like to get a lot of ground balls from Badenhop.
Tons of room on the left side. As Cruz now with a strike tries to bunt, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Give him 1 shot and a base hit. 1 shot to get a bunt down potentially, and that man waits on deck.
Somehow, some way, you have to tie this game up. Hopefully, you take the lead.
Here's a 1-2. Spoiled by Cruz. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Burke Badenhop. In July, his ERA was .79. August, 2.40. September, close to 5.
A lot of sinkers, changeup, slider. A lot of ground balls when he's on.
The 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He has allowed 3 home runs on the year.
Cruz fights it off, and a little flare into right. Catch is made. Bruce, a cannon from right, and save at third. Aggressive base running from Colton Wong. And the Reds will take a long look to see if Frazier got the tag down.
Well, he's got a call. He's got a good throwing arm, and he calls off the center fielder. Says, "I want this one." Bang bang play. It looks like he gets the hand in a little bit ahead of the tag, but I'll be surprised if this is not challenged. And he is definitely safe in my eyes, but I see it through a lot of red, Cardinal red. What do you think, Dan?
I think he's safe.
I do too. They're going to challenge it and probably then make a pitching change. Call to the bullpen, and let's see if they.
To be honest, I didn't think. Well, I thought it was a lot closer than it really was. I thought he was on the replay. I thought we'd see a closer look at what was potentially a tag at third and out. I don't believe the Cardinals announced Matt Adams yet.
You don't hear it, but and I think that's the deal. You see Holiday sitting there, but Mike's probably asking for clarification whether he was announced or not.
Yeah, he's safe. Home game. All fans entering with a ticket receive a 2016 Cardinals magnet schedule presented by Shelter Insurance and a ticket voucher for a 2016 home game. Kids 48 inches and under receive a free Six Flags ticket. Visit cardinals.com/promotions for more info. Well, we were right. Adams was never called. And so Holiday faces the lefty, Manny Parra, in our Chevy call to the pen, and he's 6 for 16 against this lefty.
Oh, that's just if he was not called, Mike Matheny got the matchup he was looking for. Nice round of applause for Holiday.
So Parra is on the mound. Schumacher, by the way, part of a double switch in left. First pitch to Holiday. Infield in. Taken for a ball.
Parra has been on the disabled list 3 different times this year. And there you see our buddy Skip Schumacher, who is having a great year, leading all major leaguers in pinch hits. Beat the Cardinals. Lance Lynn with a 3-run home run in Cincinnati last week. But right now it's Holiday's turn to be the hero.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Matt Holliday. Little tardy on that swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. As John Mozeliak mentioned to Jim in our visit back in the 2nd inning, they do expect Holiday to be in that lineup at some point during this homestand. He has said he would not play until he's 100%. Here's a 1-1.
My concern is when you get these guys back, and believe me, you know, they have a presence, and the opposition is much aware of these big guys that are in the middle of the lineup for the Cardinals that have been hurt so much. But their timing, you know, you don't get your timing back when you've been out 90 games.
The 1-2. And Holiday did not look comfortable at all in that at bat. So Parra comes in, gets a big strikeout. His ERA on the road, by the way, is around 5. At home, it's 1.26, and he strikes out Holiday on 2 of the swings. He did not seem comfortable.
How many times has Matt Carpenter come up with a base hit when you really need it? Leads the ball club in home runs and RBIs. And we need a big one now.
So 2 outs, runner at third, Colton Wong. I will say this, that at bat opens my eyes a bit to watching Matt Holliday. Did not seem comfortable one bit at all. Two outs. Tying run is at third base. Two balls, no strikes. Tommy Pham on deck. Ryan Matthews, a right-hander, getting loose in the pen. Inning started with the starter tonight. Lamb gave up a double to Wong off the wall. Badenhop faced Cruz. Parra faced Holiday. And now it is Parra and Carpenter. The 2-0 pitch. Two and two.
Parra has been on the disabled list 3 different times. First time stiff neck, second time sprained left elbow, third time bicep tendonitis in his left shoulder.
Carpenter, one of the best two-strike hitters with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. 280. What does Parra try to get him out on here? The 2-2. Had him out in front, and a fly ball lifted to center. The Cardinals miss a golden opportunity. The catch made by Bourgeois. Leadoff double by Wong, and he's left stranded. To our studio in a Bomberito Sports Update. Crowd tonight of 43,902, 43902. 62nd appearance for Jonathan Broxton. It's our Chevy call to the pen. Broxton was bailed out by Seth Maness and Jason Hayward. Yadier Molina, after he walked 2 against the Cubs yesterday to walk the bases loaded. After the first man had reached in the inning, he was brought in. And that pitch is a strike to Ramon Cabrera, with Skip Schumacher on deck, and then the top of the lineup, Jason Bourgeois.
Today, Adam Wainwright was cleared for baseball activities. And the significance of that is later this week he's going to have a simulated game. And obviously he wouldn't be able to get his endurance up for a starter. But he could, with a couple quick appearances by the regular season, become an 8th inning reliever.
Now the Cardinals are battling time. There's a strikeout of Cabrera on 3 pitches by Broxton.
Good to see him bounce back after a tough day yesterday. Schumacher will hit here. Quite the same reception he got last time or in town.
Still pretty good.
Still pretty good, yeah. But I think some people remember the 3-run home run he hit, game winner.
Not bad for a guy that was a role player on some very good teams, but a likable player here in St. Louis. Maybe seeing him for the final time in his career. He's closing in on 10 years in the big leagues. He'll be just shy of that after this season. And he's debating whether or not he wants to come back and contribute to some team next year.
Should, the way he's hit this year.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Schumacher.
And the last 5 starts that Schumacher's had, he's hit .450 with a couple doubles, a home run, and 5 RBIs. He leads all major league pinch hitters in plate appearances, hits, doubles. Of course, he went in as a position player last part of a double switch, so this is not a pinch hitting appearance here.
Here's a 1-2 pitch, big gap in right center for Schumacher.
You can see how they're playing him around to hit the ball to left field. Scotty close to the left field line, not very deep.
Over 400 games at this ballpark for Skip Schumacher.
He wore the Cardinal uniform with a lot of pride.
The 1-2 breaks his bat and pulls it foul. Skip telling me before the game he's got a couple of young kids, wants to spend more time at home on the West Coast. At some point would like to get back into baseball if his playing career is done in some form or fashion.
I'm sure he'll have several offers. Saw it off there.
That's a great look there by our crew. Here's a 1-2 pitch with 1 out and nobody on. Outside by Jonathan Broxton. Last 10 days, Schumacher at .421. Only Harper and Pham have been better. The 2-2. Chicago a 6-4 lead. That's in the bottom of the 6th. 5-3 Pittsburgh leading Colorado. That's in the bottom of 5. Mets have posted a victory tonight. Beat the Braves 4-0. We'll see Atlanta. The final road trip and the final series of the regular season. Mets magic number is down to 7. Ground ball hit to the right side. Reynolds to Broxton for the out. Jason Bourgeois walked and scored the only run of the game back in the first inning on an RBI by Brandon Phillips. He has lined out and struck out. The Cardinals, by the way, will have Pham, Hayward, and Peralta due up. J.J. Hoover getting loose in the pen for Cincinnati.
Cardinals have Schote and Cishek.
Broxton has gotten the first 2. And a ground ball under the glove of Reynolds. And a base hit into shallow right field. Second time that Bourgeois has been on base. And it brings in Suarez, who is 1 for 3.
The base hit was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. Twice today we had the 6-4. Excuse me, 7-6-4 outs.
2 outs, runner at first. This will be the final batter for Broxton one way or another with Joey Votto on deck. And Randy Choate getting loose in the Cardinals bullpen. Jaime Garcia, the starter tonight for the Cardinals. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 88 pitches, and he struck out 5.
I mean, is 9-5. All 5 games that he's lost, the team was shut out.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. And a check on Bourgeois. Two and 1.
And Bourgeois is successful in 3 out of 4 steals, but Suarez at the plate. He made his debut with the Reds this year on June 11th, and he has 12 home runs. So he's 5 years younger than Cozart. Doesn't play as well defensively, but a much better hitter.
Game in the American League East tonight. Toronto beats the Yankees 4-2. David Price made that start, leads the league in ERA, 4th in strikeouts, now 8-1 with the Jays, and 4 of the 8 wins have been against the New York Yankees.
17-5 overall for David Price, free agent.
Runner goes, and that's well hit into right. Hayward, though, plenty of room. Bam, Hayward, Peralta coming up, bottom of the 8th. 1-0 Reds. Plan to make it home. And by board, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's J.J. Hoover, appearance number 66 in our Chevy call to the pen. 2.31 ERA. And it'll be Tommy Pham, Jason Hayward, and Johnny Peralta for St. Louis. Pham is 0-for-3 tonight. He is stranded 4. The Cardinals have left 7 on tonight. Pham, first pitch into right center. That ball is down. 2 hops and off the wall. Pham to second. Bobbled in center. Pham to third. Leadoff triple here in the 8th.
Way to go, Tommy Pham. We showed how hot he has been. Had a tremendous road trip where he hit .375 and had 4 home runs. So it's his 5th triple this year. We'll see if they give him a clean triple or a double because of this missed pickup. But either way, he's on third base with nobody out for Jason Heyward. He can run a little bit, can he?
And once he saw the bobble, there was zero hesitation on his way to third. Here's Heyward. That pitch inside for ball 1.
Hoover's had a very solid season this year, but what a transition from last year. Last year, he lost 10 games in relief. He was 1-10. This year, he won 7 straight. He's 8-1 as a reliever.
1-0 is hit off the glove of Heyward, backhanded by Phillips. 1-4-3.
Four-time Gold Glover Phillips out there, but J.J. Hoover slowed it up. If he doesn't slow that ball up, it probably goes up the middle. We have a tie game, but deflected it towards Phillips. Can't ball hit right back in the middle. Tommy Pham can't come home with nobody out. Nothing you can do about that.
1 out. Runner at third. Now Johnny Peralta. We're seeing more and more teams challenge Peralta with the fastball. It has been 42 games since his last home run.
In my mind, those Cardinals as a whole, in general, are not a good fastball hitting team.
Now time is called by the catcher. Cabrera, the infield is in. And the outfield is deep and straight away. A bloop hit could tie this up. Line drive into right, base hit. Pham will score. Peralta delivers. It's a new game, tied at 1.
Talked about the Cardinals' ability to come from behind and the Reds to lose games late before they can get to Chapman. Chapman warming up for them. The Cardinals get the first job, and that's to tie this game up. Good piece of hitting there by Peralta. 2 for 2, or excuse me, last 2 times up. 2 for 4 in this game, but last 2 times up, very controlled swings, gone to the opposite field. Borges will pinch run.
And the hitter will be Piscotty, who is over 3. You bring in Borges as a pinch runner, but he's not a great base stealer. Great speed. And the reason you'd want him out there in this spot, ball hit in the gap, he could score, but you'd love to see him try to steal a base. He's had 12 attempts, and Peter Borges has been caught 7 times.
And most of the time he's gotten a steal has been as a pinch runner.
Well hit. Left center. At the track, it's at the wall, it's off the base of the wall. Borges racing to the plate, relay, Birds on top. Piscotty delivers. He's on his way to third. 2-1 St. Louis.
Steven Piscotty is starting to develop a knack for driving in runs. It's his 33rd RBI. Most of the time of those RBIs have come with 2 outs. This one comes with 1 out, but a potential 6-game winning hit for Steven Piscotty. And then to get over to third base, how key was that with just the 1 out?
And again, the infield is drawn in. Now it's Mark Reynolds. First pitch to him. Taken for a ball. This crowd of 43,902 finally was something to cheer about.
They've been wanting to do their part, haven't they?
1 ball, 1 strike on Mark Reynolds. He'd love to have that pitch back. A hanging breaking ball. Once again, Piscotty sending this one into deep left center off the base of the wall, and Borges off to the races. The fans loving it. And that's why he was in there. Ball in the gap, he could score.
That was exactly why he was in there, and Scotty's base hit allowed us to see why.
Here's a 2-1 pitch to Reynolds. 3-1. Bolton Wong is on deck. The 3-1. Reynolds pops it up. It's playable in foul territory. Votto is there for out number 2. Rosenthal getting loose in the pen, and there's nothing like seeing speed on the bases. Great example of that. Number 8 flying to third base and then eventually scoring. Man, can he run.
Fun to watch somebody that has that great speed and cut those corners. Let's get an extra insurance run here.
Wong sent one off the wall his last time up, then was left stranded. 3 hits in the inning. 2 outs, runner at third as Wong takes strike 1.
Rosenthal.
And it won't be easy in the top of the 9th. Votto, Phillips, Frazier all due up. Wong lines it to center field. Bourgeois is back and makes the catch. Tommy Pham got it all started with a triple into right center. Hayward grounded out. Then Peralta. A base hit into right to tie it at 1. After that, Stephen Piscotty. This team loving it. 3 outs away from win number 94 for St. Louis. The St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the content descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. A double to put the Cardinals on top by Stephen Piscotty. It's now 2-1. Trevor Rosenthal is into the game. 20 for his last 20 in save opportunities. He is 9 for 11 in saves in his career against Cincinnati with an ERA of a minuscule 1.38. Trying to pick up number 47 here tonight. He'll get Votto to start things off, and the first pitch is taken for a ball.
Second in the National League with his 46 saves. One more would be historic. That would tie the franchise record for saves. Tie Jason Isringhausen and Lee Smith at 47. Ooh. His foot slipped on the mound and almost looked like, for a second, looked like he was going to turn an ankle.
Ooh, he gets that strike call. That goes his way. The previous delivery, the slip here by Rosenthal.
Watch when he finishes.
Ooh.
Good thing he got off that ankle real quick. The right one did buckle.
Votto is 1 for 2 with a walk tonight, and now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the key pitch in this at bat thus far was the 2-0 strike that went Rosenthal's way. Easily could have been called a ball. It was borderline.
Actually, the first pitch was a little better than the second or the third pitch, which was called the strike. Fourth one was a good pitcher's pitch.
Key man is right here, and Joey Votto chokes up with 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. And Votto sends one out of play.
Rare that a major leaguer of today would choke up, but just a sign where he wants to put it in play. And this is what this save could mean to Trevor Rosenthal and the Cardinals.
The 2-2.
Can't walk him.
3-2 pitch. Does he go with a changeup? He does, and he struck him out. Strikeout of Votto. He may have chased ball 4. It's the first out here in the ninth.
I think it was in the strike zone, but you don't like to throw a pitch up, particularly a changeup to a great hitter. But he gets away with it. Middle, up. Not exactly where you want to put it, but it had a good finish.
Here's Phillips with 1 down. Nobody on. Cardinals holding on to a 2-1 lead.
Cardinals could knock one more off the magic number.
Phillips is 2 for 3 with an RBI tonight. Fastball, and it's fouled back at 98. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the night, presented by T-Mobile. Phillips has a base hit, a single in the first, a single to left in the fourth, and grounded back to the pitcher in the 6th inning. The 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cardinals called on Rosenthal to get a 4-out save in the ball game yesterday at Wrigley Field.
Through 22 pitches. He had 3 full days off. He was strong.
The 2-1. Ground ball left side. Carpenter was playing on the line, and it's a base hit. So the tying run is on. Go ahead run is at the plate in the form of Todd Frazier.
Cosma is playing shortstop, but as you said, he had Carpenter right on the line, and so this play right there, he would have gobbled up at normal position. But trying to take away doubles, ball right down the line.
So it's a 3-hit night for Brandon Phillips. Here's Todd Frazier. And that's a base hit. Again, Carpenter on the line. So the tying run is in scoring position.
Frazier is 2 for 4.
You win some, you lose some when you play the line.
I think you lose a bunch.
Jay Bruce is grounded into 8 double plays. He's 2 for 9 in his career against Trevor Rosenthal. Base hit could tie it up. Now Carpenter way off the line with a left-hander up, and the first pitch is taken for a strike.
We've seen Rosie get the job done. Sometimes a little more adventurous than others, but he doesn't wilt.
The 0-1 is a fly ball lifted into left field. Slicing towards Piscotty, makes the catch. 1 out away.
Get it back in.
And with 2 outs, this big crowd on their feet. Pena, the final hope for Cincinnati.
Remember the night before we went into Cincinnati last week, he pulled a hamstring. So he's not running 100%, just been pinch hitting since that time.
This is a very good pinch hitter. 2 outs, 2 on. Phillips is out there dancing at second base. They had that daylight play with Cosma. If he turned and threw, chance to end the game. Here's a 1-0 pitch from Rosenthal.
Pena 1 for 5 against Rosenthal. Pinch hit in all 3 games in Milwaukee. That was his only appearances since suffering that strained right hamstring.
When you think about Pena, who's been a guy that has been a good pinch hitter, he's a switch hitter. He's 4 for 15 this year in the pinch.
And he was hot before he pulled that hamstring. He was hitting .381, 8 for 21 with 3 doubles and 3 RBIs. Put him away.
Here's a 2-0. The 2-1 is hit to short. Cosma across the diamond. Win number 94, and how sweet it is. Save number 47 for Rosenthal. The Cardinals come back, and they win it again in dramatic fashion. The final of 2-1.
51st win here at home, and the 40th of 94 in the Central Division.
Stephen Piscotty, the go-ahead double in the 8th, our Budweiser player of the game. Big win for the Cardinals. And it's on to the post-game show. And here in September, you start thinking about magic numbers and a Central Division title. That swing. Some sweet swings in the 8th. The magic number down to 9.